This is Dan from Christie's RV. Today we're going to be taking a look at this 2020 Jayco Jay Flight 32 TSBH. We're going to go over the things that you need to know once you purchase this unit. So first off, on the front, you have your electric tongue jack. Red button is the hitch up light. The other button is up and down. Now this unit itself has a manual crank as well. If for some reason the jack didn't work, you just got to pull this rubber plug out, and the manual crank is in the front compartment. You can put that in and you can still get it on or off your truck if the need be. Next up is the propane system. So you got two 30-pound propane bottles. In the middle of them you have a crossover regulator. So this system is designed to be used with both bottles open. Whichever one that the arm is pointing towards is the bottle that the propane has been taken from. Once that bottle becomes empty, there's a sight gauge on the front side. It'll turn clear, but it'll automatically start drawing from the other tank. When you notice that it's clear, then you can just switch the arm to the other side. The sight gauge will change, and then you can take off the empty bottle and have it filled. Behind that you have your battery in a box. On the side of the unit you have your hot water heater. To open it, you just got to turn the little latch. So everything's controlled from inside. The only thing in here you need to do is remove the drain plug. So the drain plug goes in here. Before you remove the drain plug, you need to bleed the pressure out of the system. So you just open up a set of taps inside before you do that. As a side note, the pressure relief valve, it is common for them to drip. So if you notice that, it's normal. You have your outside shower, your furnace exhaust. That's where your power cord goes. You can just pulls in and out. It's approximately 20 feet. On top of that, you have your city water connection. So if you're going to hook up the water hose to it, it hooks up there. On top of that, you have your black tank flusher hookup. So this unit has a flusher in the toilet tank. When you use that, it needs to be hooked up to a sewer with the valves open, and then you can hook it on and it'll clean the tank out. The sewer system itself, sewer hose is in the back bumper. So you just twist the cap off, twist the hose on, then you have your valves. You have two valves here. You have your black valve, which is your toilet. You have a gray valve here and another gray valve in front of the tires. Gray valves are the sink water. In the back corner, you have your cable and satellite hookup. So if you've got either of those to hook up, you're going to hook your coax up here. Now this unit has a portable barbecue on the back. You just open up the bracket that's on the bumper. It sits down on the pegs. Then you have a quick connect propane line. So it has one here. So the quick connect, you just pull the collar back, put it in place, and then push the collar forward. On the trailer side, there is a valve, so once you're hooked up, then you can close the valve. And then you can light the barbecue, turn the barbecue on, and light it from the hole underneath with a lighter. So in the outside kitchen, the fridge in here is on as long as the trailer is plugged in. You have your temperature controls up on top. The outside cooktop just pulls open, and you can flip it open. So once you get there, this also has a quick connect propane hose identical to the one on the barbecue. So it just gets hooked up under the trailer and hooked up in the corner underneath. Next up, you have your fridge vent. Now everything's controlled from inside. One thing to note is you cannot impede any airflow going through this vent, so you can't lean anything up against it. It'll cause problems with the cooling of the fridge. Up top, you have your vent for the range hood. To open it up, you just got to push the two tabs. For traveling, you need to just push it closed, just push it in until it snaps. This is a mount for TV if you wanted to hook a TV up outside, you can hook it on there. You also have a cable or satellite output and a plug in there. This is your water fill to fill your fresh tank. You'll just put the hose in there and fill it up. Once it's full, the water will start coming out underneath the unit. So under here, you have two white valves. Those are your both drains for your fresh tanks. And then behind that is the two drains for the lines in the trailer, the hot and cold lines in the trailer. So to open the stairs in this one, just got to pull a little tab, flip the stairs down. Now each leg is adjustable. They have a pin, so you can adjust them depending on the ground height and stuff to make the stairs fit properly. So as soon as you come in the unit, on your left, you have the control panel here. So you got some of the light switches. Then you have your awning controls. So to run the awning out, you're just going to press and hold out. So one thing to note with these electric awnings is they are not made for heavy winds or hard rain. So I recommend that you roll it up if the weather's really bad, as well as if you're not at your trailer, I recommend you leave it in the rolled up position. So these arms are adjustable on both sides. You're just going to grab this bottom arm and pull down. So you can do that on one side or both. You want to put it back up, just push it up. One thing with these arms to note is over time, because this is a friction fit, when you pull down, it won't stay down. You'll just have to tighten up this bolt a little bit. To roll the awning up, you can press and hold the in. So on top of that, you have your monitor panel. You can check your battery level, fresh tank, black tank, and the two gray tanks. Then you have your water pump switch. So if you're going to use a water pump, you turn it on there. Then you have your two water heaters. So electric is there and gas is there. So that if you choose propane, it'll just lights on its own. If it does not light, it'll light this top fault light to tell you that it did not light. One thing with the electric water heater, below this you have a switch. So this unit, you cannot run the fireplace and the electric water heater at the same time. So you have to choose on the switch if you want the water heater to work or the fireplace. The other switch in here is for the main slide out. So you're just going to press and hold out. So one thing that you need to do before you open the slide outs is make sure that nothing is falling down in behind the edges of the slides or on the roof of the slide out, because it will get crushed when you put it out. Another thing to note with the slide outs is that they only seal all the way out or all the way in, so you can't leave them part of the way. They will leak. So once it gets all the way out, makes a ratcheting noise. That's how you know that it's all the way out. So at the front, for the TV stuff, so underneath the TV, there's a selector here. You can select between antenna or cable. So whichever one you're using, it would be cable or satellite. Then the fireplace, you have two ways of controlling it. You have the buttons right on the fireplace, so you can do that. You can turn it on, you can turn the heat high or low or off, and you can change the flame colors and stuff. And you can set a timer as well, so it only stays on for so long. On the bottom of the TV remote, it actually also runs the stereo, or the fireplace. So everything is controlled from there as well. So the stereo, the only thing that you need to pay attention to is here you have your speaker zone selection. So zone 1 is your inside speaker, zone 2 is the exterior speaker. So you can run whatever setup you want, inside, outside, or both at the same time. On the side of the cabinet here, you have your propane and carbon monoxide detector. This is wired to the battery on the trailer. If it goes off, it tells you which one it's detecting, if it's propane or carbon monoxide. Another thing to note with this, if the battery on the front of the trailer becomes low, it'll emit a high-pitched squeal to inform you that it's not going to work properly. So up here you got your range hood, the switches, you just got a light and a fan. Stovetop itself, to light it, you're just going to pick which one you want lit, turn the sparker. The center burner is your high output burner, so you'll want to boil water and stuff from there. The oven, to light the oven, you're just going to select the knob to the little flame icon. Once you get there, you can actually push in on the knob. So you can push and hold the knob, turn the same sparker as well. It'll light. You have to hold it for 5 seconds or so. Once you release it, it should stay on. Then you can set the temperature you want. And then you just have a light switch, so it's either the glow rings there or the glow rings and the interior light in the oven. Underneath the oven, you have your load center. To open it up, you just press in the center, pops open. You have all your fuses and breakers. Now everything's labeled for where it goes. One thing to note is that an RV breaker does not have an indicator that it's tripped. So if you're having a power related issue, you just got to find the right breaker, turn it off, and then back on again to reset it. So the fridge, to turn it on, it's going to press and hold the first button. It's going to turn on. The far to the right button, you're just going to set your temperature, and that's both the fridge and the freezer. The other one is your mode button. So for mode, you have a choice of A for auto, then it'll show you what it's using, or you can have it on electric only or gas only. Gas only is propane. If it does not light, it alerts you by flashing, the green light will start flashing red if it didn't light. Now you can select auto. So what auto does is runs electricity as long as it's present. If it isn't present, then it switches to propane. So if you had it plugged in and then you lost power for some reason, it'll automatically switch to propane and switch back when it's done. And to turn it off, you just press and hold that power button again. So here's your thermostat. So on the thermostat itself, this is what they call a compassive touch. So it's not actually buttons, you just have to press it. If you press hard on it, it will stop working. So first thing you do is first push just turns it on, then you can cycle through. First thing you get for an option is the air conditioning fan only. So you can set auto, high or low. Next thing is the air conditioner. You just set down to the temperature that you want it to be at, then it works on its own. If you have it set to auto, and the fan speed, once it gets down to temperature, it will only, everything will shut off. If you have it set on high or low fan, the fan will always stay running. So then the other thing you have is the furnace. The furnace, again, you just set to what you want. So the furnace itself will run for 15 to 20 seconds before it lights. And then when it comes down to temperature, up to the temperature, or you shut it off, it'll run 15 to 20 seconds again without the flame running as a safety precaution. And in the bathroom, you have your GFI receptacle. So the GFI receptacle controls everything in a wet location. So the bathroom plug, kitchen plug, and the exterior plug. If it trips, it's going to trip in here. When it's tripped, the little red light's going to be on, and the reset button is right on the front. The toilet in this unit is foot flush. Flush the toilet, step on it all the way to the floor. If you just want to add water to the bowl, you just half step on the pedal. So in the back hallway, you have your other two slide out switches. You're going to just press and hold out. Again, you need to make sure that nothing has fallen down in behind the slides before you do this. So in the back room, the lights turn on, just they have the button on the light. So once the rooms are all the way out, you can open up the folding table at the back, as well as on the back wall you have your location to mount the TV, and you have your hookups there as well. The bed just folds down and it has a latch to hold it up. So this unit is equipped with a water heater bypass as well as a water pump bypass for winterizing purposes. So the water heater is here in the hallway. It has a cover panel. You have to take the screws out. Once you get into there, there's two valves, one on the top and one on the bottom. Right now we are in summer mode. We're in bypass mode. So summer mode, the valves are pointing towards the tank. Summer mode, they're pointed around. Winter mode, they're pointed around. Underneath the sink in this unit is where your water pump is. So the water pump has its own cover panel as well. So you take the screws out so you can access the pump. It has one valve there. Right now we're in summer mode. In the wintertime, you'll turn the valve and then the clear hose will go in your jug of antifreeze. So in the front bedroom, the one window is an emergency escape window. So if you needed to use it, there's a red tab here on the screen. You pull it out, the screen will come out. Then you just gotta lift this handle up and push it out. And then you can get out. You can use it for ventilation purposes. It does lock in place on the out. If it is really windy out, I would not recommend using it. The wind will pull it out. So I think that's just about it for this unit. I hope you enjoy and have a great day.